Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group C. Our group member is Muhammad FARIS WAJDI bin Muhammad SHAHARUDDIN, Muhammad Hafizi bin Hashim, Muhammad RIDHUAN bin ABDULLAH. Today we are going to discuss about audit committees, remuneration committees, nomination committees, and other related committees. So let's go. So now we'll talk about the audit committee first. We'll talk about the requirement first. There are 3 requirements under audit committee. The first one is it must have at least 3 members. Secondly, the committee members must be non-executive director, with a majority of them being independent director. The third requirement has 3 different situations. The first one is at least one of them is a member of Malaysian Institute of Accountants. Secondly, if he is not a member of Malaysian Institute of Accountants, then he must have at least 3 years working experience and must pass the examination specified in Part 1 of the first schedule of the Accountant Act 1967, or he must be members of one of the Association of Accountants specified in Part 2 of the first schedule of the Accountant Act 1967. The third situation is he must fulfill such other requirement as prescribed or approved by the exchange. So next we'll talk about the main function of the audit committee. Firstly is review the following and report the same to the board of directors of the listed issuer. Firstly, with external auditor, the audit plan. Secondly, with external auditor, his evaluation of the system of internal control. Thirdly, with external auditor, his audit report. And there's many more. Second function of audit committee is recommend the nomination of a person or person as external auditors. Finally, we'll talk about the main role of audit committee. Firstly, the audit committee must ensure management does not override the financial practice and procedure. Secondly, audit committee must assist director in financial reporting and internal control. Lastly, audit committee must provide impartial channel for complaints concerning management and direction of company. That's all for audit committee. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So remuneration committee. Remuneration committee is to determine whether the company policy on executive director remuneration. Okay. Another one is to provide a formal and a transparent procedure. Okay, the MCCG is the remuneration committee should consist wholly mainly non-executive directors is independent. Okay. Second, the executive director should not involve in determination of their own remuneration. Why we need this remuneration committee is we don't want them to designing their own payment, their own wave, all that thing. And the second one, their job is to determine company policy. And next, remuneration committee should consist wholly and mainly non-executive director. For nomination committees made up of independent non-executive director. Okay, for their responsibility, they have several. So I mentioned number one is adopt formal procedure. The second one is identify, nominate and appoint and recruit for the new committees or few executive. And the next one is assessing existing director. And the last is succession planning for the nomination committees. So why we need the nomination committees is to strategic recruitment process, to process the executive and the new committee, they need an independence from the management, so it will be fair, and they will assist the existing director.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hafizi bin Hashim. So today I want to present about Employee Share Option Committee. So before I start this presentation, I want to share with you what is the Employee Share Option. Okay. Employee Share Option is referred to an incentive scheme in which employees are offered an option to purchase share in the company at a certain price, either over a specific period of time or upon specific milestone. The company considering to offer their employees a share option scheme should have a contractual documentation in place together with internal policy for such scheme. So, the Employee Stock Option Committee have to manage and responsible to this scheme. It can be said that they play an important role in the employee share option. Okay, next we go to the requirement. First, the committee shall be appointed by the board and shall be composed of not fewer than 3 in number. It is mean that the number of committee must 3 people and above. Next, the number of committee shall elect a chairman from among their number. In this point, someone from the committee should become a chairman. Next, in the event of any vacancy in the committee resulting in the number of members being reduced to below 3, the board shall within 3 months fill the vacancy. So, if there any vacancy in the committee that make the member become less than 3 people, the board shall find new people to fill the vacancy within 3 months. And lastly, the board shall have the discretion as it deem fit to resign and or revoke the appointment of any person in the committee. So, the board have the power to eliminate or dismiss the member in the committee. Okay. Next, we go to the function. Okay, firstly, recommend the board to the establish, amend and revoke about the regulation to the scheme and administration. So, I can say that it is mean this committee cannot change or amend the regulation. They just only can recommend to the board to do that thing. Okay. Second, determine all question of policy and expediency that may arise in the administration of the scheme. It is mean that this committee will find out whether there are problems that arise in this scheme. Lastly, exercise such power and do all act and think and enter into any transaction, agreement, deed, document or arrangement, make rules, regulation or impose term and condition or delegate part of its power relating to the scheme. For this point, this committee has a power about agreement, transaction that relate to this scheme. Okay. Okay. Next, we go to the power and authority. So, what is the power and authority that Employee Share Option Committee have? Okay, there are 4 types by law that Employee Share Option Committee have. First, we have bylaw 3. It consists to decide on any other eligibility criteria for purposes of selecting an eligible person from time to time. It is mean that the committee can decide the criteria who is eligible to receive the employee share option, then to select any eligible person to participate in the scheme whose decision shall be binding and final. It is mean that they also can select any person that they think is eligible to get the employee share option. And then we go to the bylaw 4.1, which is has the discretion to offer such number of option to eligible employees in accordance with the scheme after taking into consideration like the eligible employees position within the fulfillment of the eligibility criteria such as work performance. From this bylaw, I can say that the committee can use the discretion to offer the employee share option to the employee that fulfill the criteria like work performance. Maybe they work perform well, so the committee can decide to choose them to offer the share option to them. Okay, next we go to bylaw 9.6, which is to suspend the right of any grantee who is found to have contravened that written policies and guideline of the company. So in this bylaw 9.6 said that the committee has right to suspend the grantee that contravene the policy of the company. So any guarantee that contravene the policy may be suspended by the committee. Okay, last we go to the bylaw 22.1, which is the committee may at any time and from time to time recommend to the board any addition, amendment to and or modification or any of the provision of the bylaw as it shall in its discretion deem fit. Okay. From this bylaw 2.2.1, I can say that the committee only can recommend the board to make the addition, amendment or modification of the bylaw. So they have no power. They only can recommend the board to do that thing. So I think this is the end of my presentation, and I hope you can enjoy. Thank you.